If the teachers are informed, that is, they know their subject area, they are masters of their field, and they are teaching things that are correct, concepts that are correct, they are convenient. You see, the problem becomes when you are not convenient in your field, you become irritated. You become the dogmatic teacher who doesn't allow any flexibility in your class. But if you know it, you allow them, interactions will come in. You see what they are doing, you try to guide them. So this concept will go off, okay? But where that is not possible, then we have a problem. But thank God, they've started at the right position. The ministry started at the right position. They started at the primary school level. They are looking at those who do not have a pass, who have not been to Gambia College. These are the ones they are targeting. And you see in 2 years, I will give you 2 years, you will see the improvement. And you see the change of perception in the kids. They will be loving the subject.
Now, according to you, the ministry have done a lot so far. But what else do you think can be done?
Well, as they say, you can take the horse to the stream, but you cannot force the horse to drink. They have done their own. You see, they have been confined to it that I cannot do math, even with teachers. Even when you tell them, okay, now you are going to take the WASC exam, they say, me, WASC exam, me. You see, but they are the ones teaching the kids. So what we try to do is to encourage them, tell them this is a two-phase. If you cannot pass the math exam at WASC, which may be very hard for you because of the length, the contact hours we have with them, and the syllabus, the span of the syllabus, but you have learned something new that you can pass to the kids, because the beneficiary of the whole thing are the students. We are not looking at you per se. It's what your effect is to the student that are looking at. So I think the ministries will continue to encourage them. And those who have been flopping, I think we have to use the stick and carrot. Understand? We encourage you. Some money has been invested in you, so we have to see results. If you cannot, you are refusing to learn, then I think other measures will be taken.
Reading from the English textbook alone is not wide reading. They need to have other range of books to read from, you know, and they need stories of interest. Now, if you take an English textbook, it's been taught in school. When the child goes home, the child is bored. The child needs a time of relaxation. And so if the child is able to get, you know, an interesting novels on detectives, adventures, even romantic novels for their level, that would interest them. And from reading, I'm sure they'll be able to construct sentences. I remember when I was studying, when I was in school, and most of the phrases that I learned, I got them through reading. You know, a composed sentence, I look at how sentences are composed, you know, I try to restructure it, rephrase it, I make my own and everything. Because the teacher alone cannot do that, because there is not enough time for that in the classrooms. So if they could help us to get standard reading books, and again, I think like in the primary school, as well as the junior school, I think in the curriculum, they need to have a time for reading, like we had before. Like this period is for, you have a period for reading and writing. So this period is for reading. And get them to read, get the teacher to listen while they read, to read according to punctuation. Because what leads them astray in answering comprehension is that they don't read according to punctuation, and so therefore they just misread, read at random, and the end effect is that they come up with another idea instead of the real idea. Now, some of them, like for comprehension for example, some of them, they can read and understand the questions, but how to put down the question? They cannot put down the question because they are not armed with the words to use. Because during the reading period, things like vocabulary is coming up, things like using difficult words in making sentences is coming up. Things like the correct preposition, the correct tenses of verbs is coming up. So at that particular time, the teacher is able to make corrections, is able to aid the children. And again, another thing again I noticed is that if we look at the 6334, in particular, I feel that the 6334 brought a lot of problems because children don't fail now in classes. You have to push them. Like there are some, yes. So the competition is not there, you see. And then like we have a few, 1 or 2 students that sometimes you don't know how they manage until they get up to senior school, you see. Some of them, you ask them, how did you get here? Oh, this and that. They will mumble. There are some that cannot even write their names. So how did you get to senior school, you see? Because I don't think trying to push a child, I don't think that is a help. The help there should be that you sit that child down and begin to teach that child.
And of course, we also heard the side of the students.
For maths, people take it as a difficult subject, so most of them will not like to concentrate on something that is difficult. For English, people do say that it's an easy subject, so they will not like to study it. And at the end, they fail the subject thinking that it was a very simple subject, so there is no need for them to study. And it is very important for them to study English.
Another thing is some of the students find it very difficult to concentrate in the class due to the fact that some of the classes are very, congested. We have a lot of people in the class. In that case, some feel a bit uncomfortable. So in that case, that is another reason that can also lead to their failure. Like some of them also don't have the required books. Like you see some of our English teachers who come in the classroom and they said, those who don't have the book, please, you have to go out and find the book. And at the end of the day, when some of them go out, if they don't have the book, they will not attend the lesson. And in that case, they will miss, and they have missed a lot. About the maths too, the teachers have tried. I cannot say there is no school right now that has not got qualified and competent teachers. But you can see some of them, like after the teacher have teach them, instead of going back to revise what they have learned, some of them will just leave their books and have the concept that maths is difficult. And at the end of the day, they will fail. I don't think there is a very good university that will accept somebody who has not got any credit in English and maths.
So, some of the reason why sometimes students fail mathematics is because of laziness. Because mathematics don't need laziness. It needs continual practice. As for mathematics, you don't have to put it down like other subjects. Yeah, today you read, tomorrow you read. Mathematics, if you are a student, mathematics should be in your everyday timetable. You have to make sure that mathematics you practice it constantly, because it's a subject that, it has to deal with the mind and the brain. So you don't have to put it down. It has to be continue practicing. And another thing why people normally fail mathematics is because of our predecessors or our elders. Because Gambians, we have this general common concept that maths is difficult, everybody has to fail maths. Sometimes you even go home, you are studying, your sister will tell you, what are you doing? Maths? Me, I always fail maths, you see. So that will also encourage you, even if you want to do it, you will not do it, because it's a general concept that maths is difficult, anything that you are doing in life, it needs high self-esteem. So if people don't have this low self-esteem that maths is difficult, it's going to be very difficult, for them to pass the subject or something of that stuff. Yeah, and for English, it's because of lack of speaking English in school, especially primary school. Primary school, always students are there speaking vernacular. That's the main point why students always fail English. Because in writing, what you speak is what you write.
You can only be able to do mathematics provided that you have the patience to do it. See, because people have already developed the concept that mathematics is not easy. Yeah, English also is the same thing, because it's more of practice. You see, because what our teacher usually tell us here is you have to be ready to practice.
That's all we have time for on this edition of the season's programs. Thank you very much for joining me, Ndeko Mademba, and do enjoy the rest of our programs.